Hiya Heroes! Dun, da, da, da. We have done it! Done what? Well, since the last time we did a little bit of experimenting, a little bit of setup, a little bit of harvesting, and not only do we have some crops that are regrowing back here, but we have the setup for our peat bog. Went with 2 peat-fired engines, and we split some peat between them. There we go. There we go. That's the catch the dirt. I took a stack of sand and a stack of dirt, split it out, and just bucket after bucket after bucket until it was done. So we're going to load it up here. Remember, this is the output. We don't need to worry about this right now. We're going to hit the switch. If you remember in the previous episode, we were talking about running redstone as wires. Well, there we go. Oh, hey. And as you can see, it's starting to build. We're going to grab some scaffolding because it's useful for more than just firewood, and we'll show you why. Watch this. Oh. There we go. We just, you know what? I think this is actually blocking it. So, hey, there we go. We're actually going to come up this way, and there we go. See how it keeps growing as we add other layers? How neat is this? Now it's taking all those blocks of bog earth. Oh, you know what? Looks like we're going to have to give it a little bit of a hand here because... Oh, nope. Okay, that was measured just right. It's just doing it in a kind of a weird way. Oh, we ran out. But that's fine. This will work for now. Without having to fetch more buckets. Because what this is going to do now, as long as this is running, and it will take peat to run, it will just keep this maintained. And as this ferments and turns into peat, it will be automatically harvested, and as will the dirt. Ooh. So we are going to leave that to its work. Fortunately, the peat confuses. There we go. You got this, computer. There we go. The peat lasts a good long while. Now, as these are peat-fired engines, it will only take that as a fuel source, but it's very efficient with it. As you can see, we can burn lots and lots of stacks of peat before we even have to worry about finding something to do with the ash. And there are purposes that we can put it towards.
It'll be able to really get a
return on here. But from this point now that we have the proper dimensions pretty well carved out, we're going to count, because this is in the center of 9 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We are going to next make a forester and a crop harvester as well. And we'll just push back the frontiers of darkness here. And slowly, that is going to then replace our manual farms out this way. Now, we will be doing some rearranging. In fact, we may even tear down the job wall here a little bit and have this be the center so we can distribute peat from one side to the other. Oh, looks like it's starting to come along. And just build out, get the home base set up, do the best that we can here, and then we will, Osaka-chi and we'll see if we can't even get a couple of the other members of our crew here together to come online, explore new villages, and go over the one that we already have that exists over there. So this is a bit of a short episode, just to show off the peat bog. And I guess we got a bonus lesson into the scaffolding. More than just firewood. We really do appreciate you watching our videos and being a part of the community that we're setting up. Hopefully they've really been able to help you out and discover new things about normal Minecraft or Feed the Beast. We're always welcome. Our suggestions are always welcome. If there's something in particular you want to see featured, then let us know and we will try to accommodate for that. See if we can't build it off on the side. But for now, this was a quick little hit. We'll come back with some of the machines ready to go. Since we made this one as a base, the other machines like the peat bog here are going to be similar in setup. So we'll look at the recipes within the videos themselves, but I'll do the construction of them behind the scenes. That way we're being a little bit efficient with time, and we can actually just work on setting them out. So, until then, this has been Rather Stashing, high atop the scaffold tower here, wishing you a good morning, day, or evening, whichever it may be. Goodbye! Hiya Heroes, it's time to feed the beast. We've done it. We have made a lot of machines. We've done a lot of good work. And we are joined by... There you are.
Hello.
Osaka-chi. All right. I don't want to drop down. That's going to hurt. But now that you had a little vantage point, you can see that we have gone and set up more than just the peat bog. We've cordoned off an area here for the other machines. And just as well, despite your best intentions, or infentions, I suppose, as this was supposed to be, we had a bit of a creeper incident, and it was really close to the machines. That's a very good lesson to never underestimate those guys. Yep, well, that's actually was kind of convenient, because until we can replace the machines here, I wasn't able to get a door. Alright, well, since we were talking about the peat bog first, because this is going to be a fuel source for everything, this sign obviously is not a peat bog. There it is. Now I see the peat bog. Now, what's this turbary?
The turbine area there is actually going to be what's going to dig up the peat for you. It makes it a lot more efficient that way than going out there and doing it yourself.
But you can run a peat bog without a turbary.
Well, you can. It's just much harder to do.
Mm.
The turbary, what it does is it helps out by removing the peat from the bog earth that's been sitting there fermenting. It'll leave the dirt behind though, and what'll happen is the peat bog will then replace the dirt with new bog earth.
And the pipe set up here is actually going to be taking the dirt from the peat bog and put it into the chest with the peat that it collects as well. And now we've been running these engines to get a little bit of ash, because Heroes, as you may remember from a prior episode, I was discussing ways to, well, the ways that we can end up reusing this, and we'll actually go over to that next. Osaka-chi and I have spent a lot of time crafting this, burning some engines, making some supplies. There's a lot of setup that went into this, but you know what? Once you do it, and it's done, it'll be so much better. So this looks like our arboretum and a logger. So much like the peat bog, I imagine that the arboretum puts the trees down and the logger harvests them.
Yep. And the logger is a little bit more expensive, but it definitely is worth it. Because once you get this going, it's really nice because you will never ever want for wood again. It's not only useful for just wood, it also gives you these tasty apples, of course, right here. And it also will give you plenty of saplings, which are useful for other machines as well. You also could put rubber trees in them. So if you ever just get sick of going around making taps and making rubber trees, you can always turn around and instead simply put rubber trees in here and then extract down the actual rubber wood, and you will end up with more than enough rubber for quite a long time.
That'll be a lot better than doing all of this manually. So as you can see, we have the ash in here. We also have some sand, and if you remember from earlier, several videos ago, we have this apatite. This is all used for making fertilizer, which is a necessary component. And you can also use wheat and dirt in this mix as well. So that's why we have these in here. We'll end up removing and using these, but just to showcase what goes into everything. You're going to end up using that to make hummus, which is similar to the bog earth, only just specific for this machine.
Yeah, this type isn't particularly good with chips, so.
And yeah, that actually sounds kind of good right about now. So now we come over here, and this is our farm and our combine, and this is what's going to put wheat down. This one is probably, it looks pretty straightforward, dirt and seeds.
Yep, and out of this one you will end up getting wheat and seeds back. There is no odd byproduct from this particular machine.
Just aside from any ash we get from peat, or if we use a different type of engine like an electric, then that would consume electricity. All right, well, I'll tell you what. I have some scaffold in my hand here, and I've illustrated its use as being efficient to burn. Why don't I go and actually set this up for its intended purpose? Would you mind taking the machines out and starting to set them in place, and then we'll get a bird's eye view?
Oh, so, sure.
Now, scaffolds, let's line this up here, are really nice because, here, we'll set this down. So we right-click to set that down. Now we're going to left-click, and as you can see, it just keeps stacking up and up and up, and this acts as a ladder. Ooh, there we go. Let's not fall. Hello!
Hello. So what would happen if I come and break this bottom one?
That would be bad, because these are, they're kind of gravity blocks, except instead of staying as a full-sized block, how gravel or sand would, they'd all revert back to their little small chibi item form, and I would fall on them and maybe die.
That wouldn't be good. Alright, let me flip this switch over here. Yep.
So we have the redstone. I guess it's acting as wires to turn on the peat engines, which we made sure to fill with peat.
That one's the farm.
We did run the peat farm a little earlier as well, so that we could make some ash, and also gather enough peat to use in the other engines. So while this may be the first time seeing it in use here, we actually experimented around with it a little bit to try and generate up the ingredients, as we're trying to do this as wholesomely as possible to set a good example.
Now, the interesting thing about the bog earth, and, well, technically the hummus as well, but most of the bog earth, you can actually place the bog earth down, and it will do its job without the actual machine here. However, it won't necessarily do it quite as efficiently. Your farm's eating your fence over here.
Oh. Yeah, it looks like it's doing a little bit of terraforming. It must not like it. Well, suppose that's how it goes. Are the dimensions incorrect for the farm?
Not sure. Apparently, it must think it is. Here, I'm gonna help it along.
Yeah, it looks like it is terraforming itself, somewhat akin to a quarry. Oh, now here the peat bog is starting to fill in really nicely, and oh, it looks like it's starting to till the soil, or even just or to place it and till it.
Mm-hmm.
The race is on.
Not to be left behind, I'm gonna get this arboreum going.
Mm-hmm. Now, while it does have the same size space carved out for it, this one actually needs a little bit less room because it doesn't need these water blocks. Is that correct?
Uh-huh. It does not need water blocks for the trees because they'll grow on their own. So. Now, the arboreum, though, has an interesting side effect that when it uses the humus to grow the trees, it actually ends up leaving behind sand. And so it will actually collect sand up just the same way that the peat bog will collect dirt.
And then we can actually probably build a second carpenter, couldn't we? To combine the sand and dirt to make more bog earth so that we can continually supply fuel to our engines and even a generator, correct?
Mm-hmm. Oh, hi there, creeper.
Uh-oh.
There's no fence over there.
Oh, yeah, we got a swimmer, don't we? Alright, well, we'll just try and stay out of his way. We're just, oh, and an Enderman just, came on the scene.
Now would not be a good time to knock down your pillar.
No, it wouldn't. And I think that Mr. Creeper has detected me because he's waiting. Well, I'm just going to ignore him because we have a lot of cool stuff going on here. This is filling in really nicely. Again, it takes a lot of setup though because we have to dig up all the dirt. Now that's a little easier because if you go down and mine and collect resources like what we've been doing, in order to make all these machines and do that, you'll just get copious amounts of dirt. The bog earth, of course, takes a little bit of work, and well, I mean nothing you can really do about that. You got to make the first couple bricks of peat on your own. But this just goes to show that everything that you're doing will lead into something bigger, better, more. And because we're automating Apple Valley Ranch, oh, that's you. Okay, I thought there was a skeleton about. But as we're automating the ranch, this means that we are going to get the opportunity to go out and do a lot more adventuring. Because we won't have to come back and mine the crops and do all that because it'll do it itself. Now it looks like our farm encountered a little bit of a problem. You see there where there's actually the water flowing? It looks like somehow a block was broken.
On the farm?
Yeah. If you look close to where I'm at on the scaffolding.
Maybe that's what the block the Enderman was walking around with was. Here, have some more dirt.
It was a sympathy explosion for the creeper. Oh, yeah, and look at that arboretum over there.
Yep, the arboretum does tend to be a little bit less because it doesn't need this block of water. It is interesting, though, that both in the farm and in the peat bog, you don't have to actually supply water to the actual machines themselves. They'll actually make the water themselves.
Oh, creeper on the farm. Just as a heads up, there's a creeper on the farm.
There is no longer a creeper on the farm.
I forgot to put up the no trespassing signs.
I have taken care
All
of.
right. Let's scale down here carefully. Okay. And...
I think we ran out of seeds. And trees. Oh, well. Once we get going with this much, at least, it'll turn around and we can actually just re-put the seeds back in here. Because as soon as these grow... In fact, I happen to have some bones here, so let's make some bone meal.
We'll fill in this space, too. We could put some... we can put some more cobblestone here.
Did you see?
Up. Ah, okay.
Up. Up.
Now, if I punch this, will it collect it, or does it have to do it itself?
It's got to do it itself.
Okay.
You gotta give it a second, because it kind of goes in like its own personal rotation. And so it might take a minute for it to get back to it.
Yeah, look at this. This is so much more efficient, and this is so much better than the orchard we had set up earlier, which was similarly staggered, but the fact that we don't have to necessarily mind it, beyond making sure that our engines are fueled and that everything is ready to go.
On a side note, though, as much as you can use use bone meal on wheat, because this is in a normal dirt medium, you actually can't use the bone meal on the trees. So if you're trying to speed it up... Oh, there goes that weed again. If you're trying to speed it up at all, it won't work. Like, I'm clicking right now and it won't let me place it. The best...
Did it consume it, or it's just not letting you place it?
Nope, well, let me use it. But I could use as much as I want on the wheat because it's still on just normal dirt. But the hummus is already a special product. Now, there is an additional machine that you could put on either one of these, and that is called a forester. And
on which ones? The farm and the arboretum?
And what that'll do is it'll use an item called Catalyst, which is pretty much like a liquid fertilizer, and will instant grow all of your crops. Well, it'll instant grow them square by square. Now, the downside of that, though, is you do need canisters for that. You can make them out of beeswax, tin, I think iron as well. However, when you use the catalyst, it uses that actual canister. So you make sure that you don't stretch your resources too thin.
Yeah, it looks like a forester is kind of expensive, too. It takes 4 diamonds, 4 glass, and then a farm of some kind in the middle. Now, does that need an engine as well? Would we need to make a third peat-fired engine to fuel it, or...?
The forester, I'm not 100% sure on that. I actually haven't made one of those yet, just for the sole fact that I don't mind waiting for my trees. And once the wheat gets going, it definitely gets going.
Yeah, you get a lot of return back on the wheat. So, huh.
You can have this. Have some seeds.
All right.
So, yeah, and once you get a return on this, like I said, eventually you'll get to the point of where you have almost more wood than what you know what to do with. And you can use it to make the scaffolding such as you had before for fuel. Or you can use it to assist you in other manners for building and what have you.
Now, we will have to go through and, at least for now, replant the our Precious brand taters and our Wascally brand carrots, as the one farm is just for wheat. However, there is a pumpkin farmer, there is a mushroom farmer, correct?
There is a mushroom farm, a pumpkin farm. The pumpkin farm also works for melons. There's a lot more work that goes into the mushroom farm, and that will require a lot more equipment because you need mycelium.
Well, we might want to get to manufacturing that, because while we had good intentions with this little mushroom farm, it looks like we just ended up getting 1 extra red, and that's been about it. So maybe we can make that a project for next time, and that would be to make a mushroom farm and maybe explore some of the other ones. We could go through here too and probably clean up the outlay of the machines that we have going on down here in the basement of the machine shop. So then we'll retake a tour, and we'll activate some of these ancillary farms to give us a real good base. To give us a really good base of operations, and then I think from there we have a village to go and explore, because you did a little bit of work to improve it.
I renovated it a little bit. How did we get chicken in with the sheep and sheep in with the chicken?
Yes. But maybe that's a mystery we'll just try and contemplate. For now, though, I think we've accomplished a lot. It was great to have you join us again, Osakachi. So, goodbye, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger.